I like this car, and I want it to look better. It's not going to be a perfect repair, but it's going to get me by. Looks bad. If you live in the Rust Belt, your Mazda probably isn't here, but let's take a closer look at this car. It's ugly, and like this Mazda, there's rust coming everywhere, right? Roof is bad, car's dirty, conditions are less than ideal. But I'm guessing you're in the same boat as me. You're doing this in the driveway. I mean, you're not going to pay thousands of dollars to fix up a car like this. You don't have to do this, but I'm jacking up the car and taking off the wheels. Two things: it puts the work area a little higher, a little easier to do, and it's easier for you to see. If your car's like this is how you take off the wheels. And of course, yes, before you put it in, I used anti-seize. Guess what? Doesn't help. Contact! Yay! Really good tip. Shove your wheel under. Anti-seize. Let's talk about tools. And before we get too far into the video, I like to give you, the viewer, every chance to click off this video. If you don't think this is for you, this is the time to do it. And by talking about tools, we're talking about the process, right? So removing the rust and paint, seeing what's really there, filling it in, repairing the area, and then painting over it. So the basic tools is sandpapers of different grits, right? Something abrasive to remove it. Scrape it off. Power tools help if you got them. Aerosol if you got it. More than likely, once we get in there's going to be a hole. Every hole needs to be filled, I'm told. Fill it with something. Very basic. If you can only afford one, fiberglass reinforced body filler, kitty hair. If that's all you got, you're going to need something. The Bondo style, good for later on. Metal. You might need metal. Again, don't let anybody tell you you have to be fancy. If you have welding skills, you're probably not watching this video. But you can weld it in, right? Secret weapon for this video. Wax paper. And then paints. They sell body match style paints. Get as close as you can. Silver? Silver car. I don't know. Mask it off. Papers. I don't have any brushes or aerosols here, but I mean, that I'm sure you can figure out. But that's your basics. So step one, let's get off the rust and the paint and see what we're dealing with. Always a little bit of rust here. There is an 8mm bolt, or a screw probably, in here that actually caused the rust from kicking it or bumping it. And but in order to kind of fix up this area, I feel it's best to remove it. So I'm going in. Might have to go further, but maybe we can unclip. Yeah, there's a couple clips. Can I? Yeah. So just wedge something in there. I've also opened the door so we don't get in there. I don't care about dust in the car. I got this kind of, I don't even, scrapey disc. It's a little easier on the metal, just for a little, take the paint off for a little exploratory surgery kind of thing. Let's see what we get into. Be sure to squint. So we definitely have holes, rust, and you get your grinder, your wheel, cut that out, and weld in a nice new panel. What most people would do. Again, I guess, and you're here watching, because it's not what I'm going to do. And I could do it, but does the car warrant that repair? Maybe. But there is another way. Maybe it's not the right way, but the only right way to fix this problem is to go out and buy a new car. Because it'll never fix the rust. It's a patch no matter what. It's a good patch, and there's a not so good patch, and they're just getting you by. So. Good amount of body filler. Sometimes the hardener gets runny. We use way too much hardener. Because it's cold. I guess blue and green might not be the best. I'm saying it's good, let's move you over. Gotta get my big head in here too. So much traffic all of a sudden. So I left these scabby bits on for a little bit of reinforcement. If you don't have any of those left, which is possible, you may just have a big hole. That's where, like, cut a piece of metal out and sandwich it. This is where the wax paper comes into play. Smooth it out. Contour. Hey, Jack.
Yeah, weave it.
Okay.
I'll glue.
Yeah, bye. Up. So the putty is getting to like a kind of a firm but still soft stage. When I want to remove, well, at least check it. I don't want it to stick to the wax paper. If you leave it too long, it might not come off at all. But we'll give it a few more minutes and harden up before I sand it. So I have air tools. But honestly, on the other side, I just folded up one of these, and it's still a bit soft. It wasn't that tough, just It's at this point in the edit I thought I should mention maybe a couple things. First thing is that brake rotor. Yeah, I'm aware of that. And guess what? It's not getting fixed. This car stops great. It makes a bit of sound. There's tons of meat on the pad. And again, I mentioned it. This is a beater car. I don't care. No one else drives it but me, so I'm aware of the condition of the brakes, and yeah, it stops great. But the issue with this car, we've known this car since new, and some friends, really good friends, sold it to us, and it kind of made an offer that we couldn't refuse, and it needed a lot of work and things like that. And I wasn't looking for a car, but it was a great deal, and great on gas, good little commuter. And it was used for commuting, and it racked up a lot of highway miles in a fairly short time, which is fine. It's fine. It is what it is. I mean, this is what these cars are for. And then situations changed, and for the better, and the car sat, and it sat and sat and sat, and maybe a year and a half on the street, and salt and snow and everything else, and we have all those kind of raw surfaces and things like that. The car just kind of grows rust, right? So dealing with the results of that. But again, for what I use it for, this is absolutely fine. And then, speaking of exposed metal, I didn't treat the metal, but of course, feel free, get some rust converter. They work pretty good, and it'll give you a little more time. This is, I don't address it, but this is a 1-year repair. So I'm hoping this will last a year before it kind of comes back. And if it needs to be repaired again or repaired in a different way, I'll address it then. But until then, this is the repair I'm doing. But I mean, if you have some rust converter, I mean, go for it. Treat it first. It'll just take that drying time you have to consider, right? And for me, this video and this repair was a 1-day repair. I think I may just leave that and go in with body filler. And a bit less. So cold out. Lots of hardener. Wow. Don't do this. Don't do what I did on a hot day. That's what we have to do. Okay. We gotta be quick. Got a nice transition. All for your entertainment. Oh, I'll continue to mess with that, but I want to move to the other side. And I'm just going in with, I think, used 150. Be nice if I didn't have to do another coat. I probably will. Open the door. I don't want to get the door. Try to just knock off the high stuff. This paper might be too used. But there's a method to my madness. You could definitely do a little more work if you wanted a little better job. Here's my plan. And it's crazy, but this rust paint is coincidentally actually a really good match for what's on here. So I am going to brush paint it. This paint is so thick. The theory is it'll kind of cover, right? It'll fill in all of these imperfections. Let's see how we do. Let's see how we do. I'm curious. And I'm going up to where I kind of sanded into the clear. Get this corner really good. Whoop. Getting this lip really good. This is a metallic paint. So already looking super streaky. Just glob it on. How does it look on camera? Oh boy. So the brush strokes were bad, even for me. It could get you by, but, and of course I'm sure you're seeing it a different color. Sanded the brush strokes back. When you sand metallic paint, it darkens it. I'm handheld. It's going to be tough to shake the paint and spray, but I'm not getting any on the lens. This is just silver. This is still has a silver lacquer. We'll spray it. I'll spray that in and bring it back. Okay, we're done. Let's see what happened. That definitely looks way better. How's it showing up on camera? Far from perfect. I mean, even the wheels. What a change. So, can we pick up if I get right in there? I don't know. I can see the line, right? I don't know if you can. Just where I didn't feather it in quite as good. I mean, feel free to do a better job than I did. This is just showing you, you know, basics, what can be achieved. Yeah, this is going to go on the road in a minute, get dirty like the rest of the car, and no one will know a thing, right? But it's just, yeah, that's it. I wanted to say this was done in a day, but of course everything on the internet's fake. This is the next day. I mean, here it's just so cold. It's colder here today. Like, I mean, it just wasn't curing. So I just sprayed that on kind of the next day.